Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Good morning from WSFM.
I'm Merrick.
And I'm Peyton.
Did you know we are in National Volunteering Week? This week aims to celebrate volunteers and the marvelous things they've helped organizations and individuals achieve. Teachers regularly volunteer to write letters of reference as well as chaperone dances and more. They are a good example of volunteering. National Volunteering Week celebrates all things related to volunteering. National Volunteering Week was established in 1974 by presidential proclamation to underline volunteering opportunities for everyone inclined. It is very important for students to volunteer, as not only does volunteering look good on resumes, but it helps with college admission and scholarships. But volunteering also helps build a strong school and local community. Use this week to get started and keep volunteering going through all the year.
Attention Barbecue Club members, our next meeting will be next Wednesday, May 28th, immediately after school. Please make sure to sign up at the end of the day this Friday to attend. Sign-ups are posted in room 118. This will be our grilled banana splits meeting. You only sign up and pay. You will not bring anything to share. Barbecue Club, get your license to grill.
Any new members that are interested... Due to a lack of interest, the Key Club will not be participating in the Memorial Day practice parade on Monday. And next up will be Elizabeth with the sports.
Good morning, Panther fans. Congratulations to Shane Shula on being district champion for pole vault and also to Merrick Baker on being the runner-up. Tonight, your girls varsity softball team is at home taking on Northwestern starting at 5. You can check the MHS Panther Sports Twitter account at Akron MHS Sports to get information on time changes, scores, play highlights, and more. Go Panthers! And now, back over to Peyton and Merrick.
Thanks, Elizabeth. If you missed today's Student Council morning meeting, do not worry. Their next meeting is after school today. This meeting will be voting on officers to help transition into next year. We hope to see you there.
Any new members that are interested in playing on the girls' tennis team next year can meet in the cafeteria after school on Thursday, May 22nd for a half-an-hour informational meeting with Coach Burns.
Happy birthday today to Camden Hostler, Tanner Kucherenko, and Tyson Texter.
Today's lunch is a choice of French toast and turkey sausage links or Bosco sticks with marinara sauce with a choice of vegetable, fruit, and milk. And tomorrow's breakfast will be a variety of breakfast options with your choice of fruit, juice, and milk.
Special announcement. Here are the senior winners of the Quarter 4 Good Behavior Program drawing for 2024-25. These students have not received a detention or DAC and have maintained good grades and attendance. If your name is called, please see Mr. Mugger during your study hall or lunch period to collect your prize. $10 gift card of choice. Carter Booth, Blake Cummersford, Lydia Damasio, Alexandria Guerreri, Lacey Hall, Hannah Harbaugh, Evan Kuzmitz, Trevor Kuzmitz, Amelia Masuko, and Olivia Failure. Family-sized pack of single-ply toilet paper, Lillian Conan. Big Candy, Ramsey Dennison, Blaise Donatelli, Kirsten Farland, Faith Grandin, Sienna Miller, Wesley Schreiner, Natalie Wright, and Jace Mauger.
Thank you from WSFM. Signing off.
I'm Peyton.
And I'm Merrick.
Have a great day.